So Raw File is a brand new 2025 found footage horror film that was released on Found TV, a found footage horror movie app that I definitely recommend for any found footage horror fans. It was released just this month, so it's pretty brand new, at least on that side anyway. And I watched it. Let's talk about it. So this is about a investigator that is called in to look into a mysterious death. We see that death in the beginning of the movie, and then we see her bring in a videographer who is following her around as she investigates this apartment complex. And she has the front desk manager showing her around, talking to tenants, and seeing what transpired, what the what they might have missed, and they uncover a dark secret. Um, this is a very ambitious film. These found footage films like this that are made by kind of Joe Blow, everyday person, they're always very inspiring, of course, because this is the kind of thing I would love to do. And when I watch these, I'm always kind of blown away by how much they're able to get like an entire building like this to let them film. This genuinely felt like they had an entire 20-story or so, maybe. I think it's 13. I forget how many stories it's supposed to be. But it's a big building, and you see it from the outside, the inside, all, through the front area, through a lot of different hallways, the stairwell, the elevator. Like, they're all over the place in this big apartment building. And I was pretty impressed with that aspect, because they were able to utilize so much of the space in seemingly a no budget film. So I don't know if this is somebody who runs this apartment complex, or honestly felt more like a hotel. But regardless, that was definitely impressive. As far as the film goes, as I said, it's ambitious. It just gets a little too ambitious for itself, and I think that hurts the film. Unfortunately, there's a lot of use of bad CGI, which I don't think is ever a good choice in, well, anything, but especially found footage, since you're trying to make it as realistic as possible. The characters feel a little flat and uninteresting and unrealistic. I think that's the biggest fault of this film, is there's a lot of unrealistic things going on. The investigation feels unrealistic. Characters' reactions, situations that take place, they feel unrealistic. So that stuff really hurts the film, and I found a lot of the film to kind of just be a slog at times. So I didn't hate it. I think if you're like a huge found footage enthusiast and you don't mind the inclusion of bad CG here and there, and you like to see low budget filmmakers get ambitious and try things, and there's some memorable moments. It's not like anything I haven't seen before, but to see it done and executed here is still commendable. There's a scene in a stairwell, and in an elevator. Those things are pretty cool for what they have to work with. Everybody in this movie, for the most part, is pretty damn good looking, which is not usually the case in these lower budgeted films, especially found footage. I've just never found footage to be stocked with a lot of attractive people, but I found everybody in this to be pretty good looking. Not really much of a note, but just something that was on my mind while watching it. Like, wow, that girl's really pretty. Wow, that girl's pretty. That girl's really pretty. And even the guys were like, yeah, that guy's good looking. Like, it was interesting. Anyway, but yeah, I don't know. Overall, I didn't like this. I didn't hate it. I didn't hate sitting through it, but it felt a bit long. A movie like this, typically with the lower budgeted, like really, really low budget indie things, they're usually about an hour 10. This was an hour 30 some odd minutes, and it felt that, or not longer. Um, yeah, the acting is fine. I mean, for this type of film, I think it's better than a lot of really really low budget stuff. It looks good. That being said, as far as the look of the film, there is a lot of camera movement that is shaky, and it also somewhat feels. Now, this could be the Found TV app. I'm not honestly sure, but I even have my wife come in and look at a couple scenes to be like, am I fucking crazy here? And she agreed with me 100%. There's this kind of like shakiness to everything, but there's also this very, very like small, almost like sped up aspect of the film. It feels, not always, but there's certain times, and unfortunately a good amount of the time, where things feel like they're moving just a second faster than they should be moving. It was odd. So I don't know if that was purposeful to make it feel uncomfortable or whatnot. Um, yeah, and there's just like this the investigation, as I said. There's so many things that happen in there that you're like, what the come on. And then there's things that just happen that are huge, and the reactions to them are just not big enough. And then the movie just goes kind of haywire bonkers in the last like 30 minutes, and there's just nowhere near enough. Not only does that not feel real because of the CGI and just how kind of over the top it gets, and what it's, I don't know, it's just, it's all too much. It's too ambitious. It's just dial this down a bit, work on the characters a little bit more. And then I know they were trying to go for something big. I know they were trying to do like a Grave Encounters or something. And it's just, I don't know. The limitations were exceeded beyond, and not for the betterment of the film. But once again, not the worst, but not a real recommendation. So it's a shame. I was looking forward to this one, but you know, it is what it is. So that's that. Let me know if you watch it. It's on Found TV. Check out that app. There's a whole bunch of found footage films to watch on there, and they're free. Except for Looky Loo. Looky Loo, for some reason, is the only movie on there that you absolutely have to pay for. You can get a membership, and everything is ad free except for Looky Loo, which is bullshit. That's really lame, honestly. That Looky Loo isn't included. You actually have to pay for that on top of, even if you have a. But Looky Loo is on Fossum, so you can watch it there for free with ads. Anyway, so that's that. Check it out if you want. Let me know. Adios.